1883, the prequel to Yellowstone, revolves around the Dutton family and how they leave Texas to seek a better life elsewhere. Fans of the show will know that the set used in the show was quite accurate to the America of the 19th century. While that was crucial to the development of the story, spare a thought for the actors, who had to work in filthy conditions. Behind the scenes on 1883's vile set. Well, they knew what they signed up for, didn't they? It's 1883. It's a prequel to Yellowstone. It's Western America in the 1800s. Of course, the set wasn't going to be roses and rainbows. As it turns out, though, the creators went all out to keep things as real as possible, and this meant the working conditions were quite harsh on the actors. You also have to factor in some of the violence and the tough scenes that the actors would have been required to pull off. All in all, it seems like a tough show to create, and kudos to everyone involved because it turned out to be glorious. Sam Elliott, who has a knack for Western work, was full of praise for the show, stating that no one has managed to do Western like this ever before. That's praise of the highest order. Considering Sam's been around for so long, we think he might actually have been Shea Brennan. Although he's right about the accuracy of the show and the brilliance of Taylor Sheridan and his team, because we sneaked a peek at the behind-the-scenes footage and it was vile. That's probably an understatement because the creators of the show pulled no punches in drawing historical accuracy, and that meant dealing with some gory details, and even the normal times required having to contend with dirt, sweat, and smell. Harsh working conditions. We know that Sam Elliott has seen it all before in his immortal career, so he wasn't complaining about the set, but that didn't stop the other cast members from complaining. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill in particular claimed that they knew ever since they were signing the contracts that they wouldn't be comfortable. Faith Hill and McGraw have experience in acting, but they're primarily known for their music, and fans were initially surprised by their casting. The lack of sleep became a norm, and that was pretty surprising for the duo because they usually went to bed pretty late. This was probably a good thing to come out from shooting though, as the show managed to get Hill and McGraw up early and mend their sleep cycle. McGraw was also critical of the temperature, which is either burning hot or freezing cold, and that meant they needed all the help they could get to get through the shooting. To be honest, we feel a little bad for the stars on the show, but the series has come out so good that we're absolutely certain they'd be glad about the effort they put in, too. Working through all these challenges is usually something that goes unnoticed by fans, but we want the cast to know that we appreciate their effort, and we love the show, and we can't wait for more. Committed to braving the conditions. There were also several complaints about the lack of showers on the set. We know it smells crazy in there. Well, it probably really did. Despite all of that, Faith Hill, on behalf of her fellow cast members, was quick to point out that they were committed to pulling through and loved working on the set. She says the entire cast believed a lot in the story, and the script was what convinced many to sign on initially. That's why no one had any issues working in these conditions and ensuring they create a masterpiece. And to be fair, they managed to do just that. For the Hill-McGraw couple, signing for a show is a challenge for many reasons. They're musicians by trade, and that means they're their own boss. They make their own timings and schedules, but once you sign the contract for a show or a film, you're working for someone else, and that can be tough. McGraw pointed out that they had to change their daily habits and put up with a rigorous routine while the show was in production. Looking back, however, they can be proud of what they've all managed to create. It seems like there were many friendships made along the way, as is the case usually, and the cast members already miss one another. We're sure that's true, but they'd probably rather prefer meeting in a nice cafe for a cup of coffee rather than on the set of 1883 to catch up on their success. 1883 sequel. What do we know? We know everyone's finished watching 1883 by now, and we just can't wait for the next season. There's so much to unpack, and following the death of Elsa Dutton, there are many unanswered questions left. Don't worry, we have some news on the next season of 1883, and we'll discuss all we know. As expected, there will be a second season, so we can all take a long, deep breath. However, it's going to be called 1932, and that means we'll take up the story from a little further in the future, or in the past now. It's going to be between 1883 and Yellowstone, so we're bound to find out some major linking information. The shocking deaths of Elsa Dutton and Shea Brennan need to be addressed, and we're assuming that the new show will do just that. While a possible date has not been released just yet, we can speculate that it will come around the same time 1883 was released, but in 2023. That's not that long away, and we think we might just manage to pull through. So far, we know very little, and with the deaths of Elsa and Shea, it seems like the returning cast members will be very few. That means we can expect some new members to come in, but the confirmed returning members are probably going to be Tim McGraw as James Dutton, Faith Hill as Margaret Dutton, LaMonica Garrett as Thomas, and Graciela Brancusi as Noemi. Everything else depends on what era they pick up the story from and if there are flashbacks to 1883 or not. Faith Hill talks about filming steamy scenes in 1883. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw don't just share love in 1883, but are actually married in real life too. They're both successful musicians and tied the knot in 1996, sharing one of the longest-lasting marriages in the industry, and may it last last forever. Both of them have appeared in multiple roles on TV, but they've never done a show together before. As they star as a couple in the 19th century Western America, Hill opened up about acting in some of the steamy scenes with her husband McGraw on screen. She was quick to explain that filming the tough, challenging scenes was a lot easier, and they managed to ride that wave comfortably. Given the brutal conditions on set, this shows the couple really had to dig their heels in and deliver a performance that has been lauded by their fans. However, the real challenge for Hill was the raunchy scene she had to do with McGraw. Hill mentioned that she felt out of her depth because she's a modest person in real life, and it was pure acting and didn't come naturally to her. Although she added that the cast and crew made it easy for her to appear, and it was a beautiful scene that turned out great. We can definitely agree with that. McGraw, though, had an entirely different experience sharing the screen with his real-life partner, as he explained that while it was incredible to do the scenes together, the slap from Hill's character was 25 years of pent-up aggression. Oh, we're sure many more real-life wives would love such an opportunity. 1883 star lands major role. The brilliant Isabel May, who starred as Elsa Dutton in 1883, has already been rewarded for her performance by landing another major role. May, who turned 21 last year, was the narrator and the main protagonist of 1883 and has showcased her remarkable skills as an actress. This time, she'll be making a major appearance in the superhero universe of the DC Comics and has been cast in the new film Wonder Twins. Starring as one of the twins alongside AJ Appa, May's character will have the ability to transform into any animal she wants. That's a pretty decent power to have, and we can't help but feel that she'd be a big success. Landing a role in the DC universe is a great achievement for May, who seems to be on an amazing upward trajectory. She has a bright future ahead of her, and we're sure she'll do an amazing job in Hollywood for many more years and decades. Although we're quite sad to lose her in 1883 after her tragic death in the show, we thank her for her brilliant role and can't wait to see her in action in the DC universe. That's a wrap for this video. Do you have anything to say about the tough working conditions on the cast of 1883? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.